Ton aŭte proseipe gλαυκῶπις Athene. Τοιγάρ toi ταῦτα ἀτρεκέως ἀγορεύσω. Μέντης Ἀγχιάλοιο δαΐφρονος εὔχομαι εἶναι. υἱός ἀτάρ Ταφίοισι φιληρέτμοισιν ἀνάσσω. Νουν δεξουν νέοι κατήλυθον ἑτάροισι. πλέων επί οἴνοπα πόντον ἀλλοθρόους ἀνθρώπους. Έστε μεσέν μεταξάλκον ἀγορεύθον ασυντήρων. νηός δεμόι στέκεν ΑΓρού νόσβη πολέος. Εν λίμενε ρέθρο ουπανέιο hule enti. I stop there. And then the goddess owl radiating Athena, I think that's what we're doing with it, addressed him in turn. So I, and it's an emphatic I, will tell you all these things really ἀτρεκέως, really, let's say precisely then, okay?
Yeah.
The straight way, okay, in the straight way.
Uncrookedly.
Uncrookedly, okay, good, yeah, even better. I assert that I am Mentes, the son of Ἀγχιάλος, δαΐφρον, let's say, who's very intelligent, right, in the Odyssey, right? And I rule over the Tafíoi, who love oars, rowing. Now, in this way, with a ship, I have arrived here, or I've arrived in this place, right? Maybe that's what the awiąte means. With my ship and my companions, sailing over the wine dark sea. Well, we can come back to that. Among or over, Greg can help us with this one, right? Men who speak other languages than mine, right? ἀλλοθρόους, who speak other things in other ways. To temese in pursuit of bronze, and I am bringing, in other words, to exchange for the bronze, blazing iron. Seems a little bit strange as an epithet, right?
Yes.
My ship is standing here at the near a field, far from the city, or standing there. I don't know how to do the head. He means at some distance in the harbor Rethron, or I think it's neuter, under the mountain Neos. Okay?
Shall we talk about heder and in general the pronoun heder, heder, tode?
Which means the thing near me, right?
Yeah.
In reference to me.
I really like that about the way people who are interested in deictic elements in language will say that heder, heder, tode is with reference to the first person speaker, whereas hutos, haute, tuto is with reference to the second person.
Whereas kenos is with reference to the third. It's far away.
That's far away.
Yeah.
Or should be far away.
Yep.
Should be far away, but sometimes is in your face.
All right. So it's this ship of mine, the ship of mine, right?
I think that's So I think it's more the fact that it's the speaker, not that it's here.
Right.
Well, it's here because it's the speaker who's saying it.
Exactly. Yep. So can I say something about eĽchome in my?
You must. So this is your word.
Yeah, exactly. So one important thing is that it gets translated as boast, but as you can see here, he's not boasting that it's his name. He's asserting the truth value of his statement of his name, and that's why he uses also the complementary infinitive eἰναι. Okay. And the one thing that's weird, this is the first person to use it in the Odyssey, but if you look at all the examples, he's the only person in Homer who uses eĽchome eἰναι and gives you his given name, Mentes. The usual convention is you say, I'm the son of so-and-so. You don't say, I'm Mentes, the son of so-and-so.
Nice.
So it's an assertive of his own identity to give both.
And this is what you meant earlier when you said that he's hyper-assertive.
Exactly, about his identity, right?
Right.
And the irony is, of course, that he's lying.
She is not Mentes, despite what she claims.
Not lying.
Not lying, but
speaking in a coded way that
yes,
the
exactly.
unintelligent will not understand.
Exactly. I stand corrected.
Thank you.
But
Lying.
no, not lying. That's
Well,
right.
That's too simple.
It's telling.
Lies are all right too. I mean,
well,
there's
It's Odyssean to be encoding the truth in complex ways, right?
Let's put it this way. I think it's our cultural problem.
Yes. Okay.
I had a question about the preposition epi.
Yes.
Ӓλλοθρόους, ἀνθρώπους.
Yes, because
You seem not to want to translate it as two.
Yeah, because I think you have ἀνθρώπους is a shtick, right, Greg? It means over mankind or something like that.
It occurs in so many contexts where the basic idea is that some form of reporting, narrating by way of song spreads all over humankind.
Use it with
So
class.
it's the spread
Yeah.
that matters, and therefore it can happen even if there is no verb of motion towards. You can just have a word for song, and then you can have epi plus anthropos in the accusative.
But in this context,
What's nice is you've got the two epi in the accusatives. One,
eŵnαι pόντον. I didn't make clear what line we're talking about. Maybe you should do that.
this is line 183.
Where he's saying sailing
Over the...
over the wine dark sea,
Okay.
and then ep.
Over humans who speak all different tongues. Okay.
I see what you.
In other words, it's the macro view of the world.
Okay.
Right?
But it's a macro view that is very aware of the differences in traditions that different people have about very important things like Odysseus,
Yes.
or other figures of myth and ritual. And all I'm saying is that here, even the ἀλλοθρόους is not so much that when you go to city A, they speak one dialect and city B speaks another dialect. It's that their languages have different value systems and different truth values, therefore.
Right.
And so
So it's really Odyssean. And
it's very Odyssean because I think it signals that different folks have different ways of saying things that are very important.
Yeah.
So it's not really pressing anything if somebody, I think, translated it simply as in the direction of that would be fine too. But I'm thinking that there's this deeper semantic system of expressing awareness of different versions of myth.
Then it becomes very specific in the next line. It's
Yes.
εĽ, right?
Yes.
And as I recall, that might be near Delos, and it might be other places as well. And
We don't know where it is. Yeah.
But you've certainly explored that, Doug, about how these notations of places, again, just by noting a place will send up an alarm about different versions, even that.
But I mean, before we go, one more thing about the epi constructions. The epi oînopα pόντον, at least historically, must have to do with initiatory voyages, right? Because given the connotations of pontos and also of oinops,
Well,
right?
yeah, sure.
So it's long trips like Odysseys that are about to happen, right?
I noticed, Lenny, that you hesitated when you got to oînopα. Is this the first time we've had to deal with this in front of a camera?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's such a convention to say wine dark, but there's nothing dark about oînopα or oînopy. It's having the looks of wine.
Yes.
I'm thinking of looks in a reciprocal way.
It reflects you.
Yes.
Yes.
Wine radiates the looks of brightness.
Right, of ripeness. This is
Of brightness. So if anything, it's wine bright, not wine dark.
Yeah. It's about radiation.
But I know you were just being nice to the classics convention, and it's just a convention of saying wine dark because what is it?
People think of that as the poetic word. Yes.
But I personally think that the miracle that you see in the Homeric hymn to Dionysus, the complete one, where Dionysus changes the sea into wine, where the macrocosm of the sea is changed into the microcosm of wine sloshing around inside the wine cup. That has something to do with this epithet.
Yep. And that's in the context of a voyage too, right?
Oh yes, and it's no accident that in visual arts, Dionysus is regularly pictured as sailing over the sea.
Yep. Okay. What about the fact that iron is eithon, which means fiery red, right?
It should be bronze, and so why is it iron?
Yes, exactly.
I would think that's the new technology where something is displacing something else.
Yeah, it's as though they've exchanged their epithets, right? The bronze and the iron, and you're exchanging one for the other.
Yeah.
I think that's
and
what's
it's
going
the
on.
new world of iron.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's
it's so
right.
funny.
Yeah.
It's like how epithets for wine, most of them emphasize sweetness, and you say, "Oh, that's not necessarily delicious to have sweet wine."
Right.
But as Susan Scheinberg showed many years ago in a research paper, the epithet system of wine seems to have belonged earlier to the
mead.
Epithet system of mead,
Yeah,
MEAD,
Yep.
fermented honey.
Yep.
And that's why wine is so sweet.
Yep.
Now, can I explain why in country western it's always, "I'll drink your sweet wine"? I'm not sure I can. Maybe it's just bad wine.
But I can tell you say more about that, because apparently the technology of winemaking, it's much harder to make sweet wine than it is to make wine that is sour, and especially in a culture where you don't have corks.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so
Well,
this is the best wine is sweet, would be
Well,
sweet.
then, you know what? I'll go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
Maybe it doesn't have to do with mead.
No, I think it probably does, because it's meleades. That's the epithet, right?
Well, that's
I played
true.
With that
It
too.
is. Yeah,
It's like
you're
it's
right. It
honey
is honey
sweet. So I'm sure that's what the sweetening agent was.
Yeah.
And it works with mead, and it's.
And supposedly the only, I won't take up time with this now, but the only smoking pistol for mead in ancient Greek verbal art is in the Homeric hymn to Hermes, where the bee maidens of Parnassus are actually ingesting fermented honey.
Yes, there's a place where it's.
And then they tell the truth.
That's right. Maybe.
Maybe.